Moments away from kickoff, the Texans won the coin toss. They have elected to defer. We do have rain in the forecast this afternoon. And before we start, let's send it down to Sherry Burris.
Andrew, the number of injured players for the Tennessee Titans continues to go up, but so do their number of wins. This week on Friday, 7 players already ruled out for this game. Head coach Mike Vrabel this week told us everyone in meetings during the week, from the active roster to the practice squad, they should be prepared to play in a game because there's a very real possibility it happens. And Andrew, you mentioned it. They've used 82 players. They're 2 away from the record.
And Sherry, one more player ruled out before the game. Jackrabbit Jenkins was listed as questionable. He has a shoulder injury, and he is not going to go. So that's one more starter. Tennessee is down. Kaimi Fairbairn will boot it away, and Marcus Johnson is back deep. We're underway, week 11 of the NFL on CBS. A short kick, Johnson from the 7-yard line, and he is brought down at the 21. Chris Moore in on the tackle, along with Tavier Thomas. And out comes Ryan Tannehill, who at 26-10 as the Tennessee starter has the 4th best record in the NFL during that span. And James, you made this point, I know you like it, but the players on the field today, Ryan Tannehill is the leading rusher on either team.
Yeah, he's going to use his legs from time to time, but he wants somebody else to take over that rushing lead.
Adrian Peterson starts at running back, and on first down, he takes the handoff, and Peterson gets a yard on the play. Tennessee, one of the other starters down, their right guard, Nate Davis, ruled out with a concussion, so Aaron Brewer will start. There's the offensive coordinator, Todd Downing, who said we've always had a next man up mentality. This season, we've had a lot of next men. Tannehill to the air, and it's incomplete. Looking for A.J. Brown, and Justin Reed was closing quickly.
Boy, you're trying to hit that little curl post route in right behind the linebackers, and you see A.J. Brown coming out and hesitating just for one moment. He thought the hole was closer to where he was, not so close to where Justin Reed was.
Well, Tennessee on 3rd and 7 or longer, 2nd worst in the NFL, just 13% converting these situations. On 3rd and 9, Tannehill over the middle. It's caught by Chester Rogers, and he's got a first down. An 11-yard pickup, and the drive continues for Tannehill, who is moving quickly on this opening drive. No huddle right now, as you see the Texans defense, and they are without Jonathan Grenard today. He leads the team with 7 sacks, but not able to go because of a foot injury. And here is Dontrell Hilliard on the carry, sneaking through the line, and Hilliard stretches out for a 10-yard run. He's up today because Jeremy McNichols is out with a concussion.
We saw this tempo at practice, and they're going fast, and that fast pace is starting to affect the Texans. You get a little winded when a team goes fast against you.
And a flag. It looked like Desmond King, the former Titan, may have jumped off sides. Our referee today is Tony Corrente.
Neutral zone infraction, number 25 defense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
It does go on Desmond King.
Yeah, and Desmond King is looking in at the lineman. The guy has to be close to you. So if the receiver doesn't move, if I'm a defensive back, I'm not going to move.
David Culley told us last night, we're going to have penalties, but we have to eliminate the foolish ones.
Hey, Browns! No, Luke! Too high!
Back to Hilliard. Into Houston territory, and another Tennessee first down. Hilliard called up off the practice squad yesterday, making his 2nd appearance of the year.
And the running back is kind of doing his hand, yeah, more. But the guy that I like the more from is left tackle Taylor Lewan. He wants to run this football because I think what he wants to do is send the message, yes, we're absent Derrick Henry, but we're still a good offensive line that can run the ball effectively.
A.J. Brown, you saw him on the sideline, injured his hand earlier on this drive, trying to loosen it up. He's on the sideline right now. Tannehill to the air, taking a deep shot, and nobody home. Chester Rogers, the intended target, and Eric Murray was back deep. And now A.J. Brown coming back out onto the field for 2nd down and 10. In his career, A.J. Brown has absolutely torched the Texans. 4 games. He has 5 touchdowns and averages 112 yards per game against Houston. Peterson, at running back, takes the pitch, and he lost the football. Peterson never had a handle on it, but Tennessee recovers. And it was Peterson who fell on it.
You know, the one thing that you have to remember, Andrew, when that ball hits the ground, it doesn't bounce like a basketball. It has twists and turns, and A.J. Peterson is looking at that thing going, how can I just fall on top of it so we can maintain possession? So he did a good job right there.
Got a helmet full of grass, diving for that loose ball, and now 3rd down and 12. Tannehill, quick slant to Westbrook Akina, and he is spun down short of a 1st down. It'll be 4th down and 2 after the tackle by Eric Murray, and Mike Vrabel is keeping the offense out there for the time being.
I watched Randy Bullock, the kicker, hit about 6 or 7 50-yard plus field goals in warm-ups.
And a lot of movement up front.
76-77.
On Tennessee.
False start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty will remain 4th down.
It goes against Roger Saffold, which is his 2nd false start of the year, and now it would be a 58-yard field goal, and Vrabel will send out his punter, Brett Kern.
Well, that fast-paced offense that they had been executing so far in this opening drive kind of caught up with them on that last play. They went a little too fast on the left side, even before the snap.
4th down and 7. The ball is spotted at the 40 with Danny Amendola back deep to receive the punt from Kern. Titans did run a successful fake punt earlier this season. And Kern trying to pin him deep here. And it goes out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. So Houston will get the football for the first time today. Tyrod Taylor set to make his 4th start of the year. Scoreless in Nashville, and A.J. Brown just left the field to the Tennessee locker room. Here's what happened on that opening drive, and it looked like his hand is the part that got injured here. Taking a look at it on the sideline and in some pain, and then he jogged off during that commercial timeout. We'll get you an update as soon as we have one, as Houston starts this drive by handing it off to David Johnson, and Johnson runs it up to the 18-yard line. Tyrod Taylor making his 4th start of the year. He missed 6 games with a hamstring injury. Did not play well last time out before the bye against Miami. He tied a career high with 3 interceptions.
You know, he did throw 3 interceptions, and what I saw was a guy who was tentative in his reads, and he talked to us the other day about getting that ball out quickly and making the right read early.
It's Johnson again, and Johnson met at the 20 by Murchison. It'll bring up 3rd down and short. As you take a look at this Houston offense, there's the offensive coordinator, Tim Kelly. They are rolling with the same offensive line as they did against Miami last game. It's the first time since weeks 3 and 4 that they're using the same offensive line in consecutive games. On 3rd and 2, Taylor chased out. He's got some room to run, and Tyrod Taylor picks up the 1st down. Christian Fulton closed, but not quick enough A gain of 7 for Taylor.
And that was a quick decision. Yes, he's out of the pocket, decides to scramble, but then he makes the decision, I'm not going to try and force this ball into a tight window down the field. There's enough room for me to run and pick up the first down with my legs.
David Johnson at the top of your screen. Lined up as a wideout on 1st down and 10. Taylor comes the other way to Brandon Cooks, and Cooks is forced out of bounds by Elijah Molden. That's the 58th catch of the year for Brandon Cooks, 7th most in the NFL. And there's A.J. Brown back on the sideline. Sherry Burris has an update.
Andrew, A.J. Brown just sat back down here on the bench. He went into the locker room. I saw them on the sideline looking at his left ring and pinky finger. They were checking his knuckles. He was questionable to return, so we'll see if he gets back in.
All right, thank you very much, Sherry, as Rex Burkhead spins his way for a 1st down. Jayon Brown on the tackle for this Tennessee defense that is missing David Long, Rashaan Evans, Bud Dupree, among others. And there is an injured Texan down in the field, and that's their starting left guard, Titus Howard. He's the only offensive lineman to start every game this year for David Culley and the Texans.
Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy, and by Disney Plus, streaming home of all your favorites.
Back in Nashville, Titus Howard was able to walk off under his own power. Max Sharping has come in to replace him at left guard. And they flip this one to Chris Moore, trying to get around the edge. Moore at the 45 and hit hard, just shy of midfield. But that's good for another Houston 1st down. Rex Burkhead with a nice block along the way for a Houston team that, as we mentioned, has been a bit of a revolving door at offensive line and have allowed 5 sacks in each of the last 2 games. And good news there was only 1 play. Titus Howard is right back out there. Taylor throws on the run and completes that one along the sideline. It is the rookie Nico Collins making the catch in front of Chris Jackson. It is Jackson who got the start today at corner for Jackrabbit Jenkins. Tennessee has won 6 in a row, the longest active streak in the NFL.
Part of the dilemma is finding where Brandon Cooks is for the defense.
It's a give to Johnson up the middle across the 40 and down at the 38-yard line. And a little extracurricular after the whistle. Division rivals, that's Denico Autry in the thick of it for the Titans.
You know, this is their first meeting, so they're just getting reacquainted, saying hello. What did you do during the offseason? What are you planning on doing when the season's over?
They'll meet again week 18 down in Houston. Sounds strange saying that.
It does.
Week 18.
It does. I used to get tripped up with just 17 weeks in one bye.
Tyrod Taylor 3 out of 3 on this opening drive. And a timeout called with the play clock winding down.
Well, you had that little scuffle. That took up time for guys to get back in the huddle.
Timeout.
So the Texans use one early. David Culley, a homecoming for him, a native of Sparta, Tennessee. He attended White County High School, which is about 85 miles away. He played at Vanderbilt, also coached at Vanderbilt from 79 to 81. And he's had a number of other stops in this state. Austin Peay's running back coach in 1978. He was at Middle Tennessee State in 1982. And also at Chattanooga in 1983. Just a stellar mustache at all of his stops. And he says he still has 5 brothers and sisters who live back in Sparta. Out of the timeout, Johnson with a flag down from behind the play. He got 2 yards on it, but let's see what the call is from Tony Corrente after Jayon Brown made the tackle.
Holding, offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty, and repeat, first down.
It goes against Titus Howard. Second time this season he's been called for a hold. Yeah, White County High School, about 85 miles away. David Culley, most athletic. And yes, he said he remembers Debbie Alcorn. Give Debbie some love, too. Had a great chat with Culley last night at the Texans team hotel here in Nashville. First and 20. Taylor, quick pass, caught by Ferrell. Brown makes a nice move and gets to the 40-yard line. Monty Rice, the rookie, makes the tackle.
When you are a struggling line, you kind of need things to go your way. This ball gets deflected ever so slightly and still caught. So you get that bonus once you were facing 1st and 20. So now you just got to continue to try and pick this thing up. Grab another 5, 6, 7 yards here on 2nd down and give yourself a manageable 3rd down to deal with.
Ferrell Brown was inactive the last 2 games, but today he's up and Jordan Akins is inactive. Taylor fires left and it's caught by a sliding Chris Conley. And that's good for a Texans first down. Making the play in front of Chris Jackson.
You watch Conley drive off the line, just a speed out. That ball's delivered on time. You'd love to be able to stand up and catch and run after the catch, but trust me, the Texans will take that first down.
And you said on time, and that was what Tyrod Taylor wanted to work on. He was not happy with his timing last time. Well, so far today, he's 5 out of 5 as Johnson runs it up the middle and gets a yard on the play. That is one area the Texans have really struggled this season, running the football. They only average 75 yards rushing per game, 2nd fewest in the NFL behind Miami. And now there's an injured Titan down. It's Naquan Jones.
He's been playing well lately, too.
Had his first career sack in last week's victory against the Saints. And Mike Vrabel's got to be thinking, here we go again with the injuries. We'll be back in a moment. Naquan Jones was able to walk off during that timeout. 5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Nice little drive here by the Texans. It's already covered 11 plays. Now entering today, they only had 11 drives of at least 10 plays. 2nd fewest in the NFL behind Seattle. And a handoff here to Burkhead on 2nd and 8. And not much doing that time. Ferrell Brown trying to lead the way with a block, but Burkhead is bottled up.
And Burkhead, a downhill runner. There's no dancing, there's no darting. He's just going to hit that hole and hope that he can open up a crack on his own. Now you got a 3rd and 7 facing the Texans. I would expect the Titans man-to-man coverage and to bring somebody extra from that line of scrimmage. They got 4 guys lined up and a 5th close to the line of scrimmage.
First time we've heard these Titans fans make some noise today on 3rd down and 7. Taylor throws right and it's incomplete. We're looking for the rookie tight end Brevin Jordan. Elijah Molden had the coverage, and out comes the field goal unit for the Texans.
You would think when you have a guy who's 6'3", 245 matched up against a smallish nickelback that you want to work something on the inside as opposed to having him run on the outside, which is going to get the advantage to the speed player.
This will be a 43-yard field goal attempt for Kaimi Fairbairn. The holder is the punter Cameron Johnston. And John Weeks the snapper. Fairbairn's kick is good. So a 13-play drive, and it results in a field goal for David Culley and the Texans. We'll be back in 30 seconds after this from Nissan.
Curve ahead. Hey, buddy, want me to drive?
Why would I want that?
Everyone says you couldn't handle the curve.
Who says that?
Show Tebow a curve, guy falls apart.
Tebow, the curve? No way.
Literally everyone says that.
They're talking about a different thing.
Okay.
Tyrod Taylor, 5 out of 6 on the opening drive for Houston for 47 yards. It's a 14-play drive that took up nearly 7 minutes off the clock. And there's A.J. Brown, questionable to return with a left hand injury.
But he's got on the white gloves now. He was injured with the red gloves on, so I'm pretty sure he's going to come back and play. You change gloves, you got to be ready to come back in the game.
Fairbairn will kick it away. Johnson is the deep man. Another short kick. Johnson, a running start. He lost it. Scoops it up at the 11. They lose one tackler and then reaches out to the 20-yard line. Well, it's like a New England Patriot reunion in Nashville today among some of the many with Patriot ties. The two general managers. That's John Robinson, the Titans GM in the jacket, and Nick Caserio, the Texans GM in the vest. They worked together for 12 years in New England, and they chatted for quite some time pregame down on the field. You also had Mike Vrabel talking to Romeo Cornell. Patriot connections go deep as Adrian Peterson breaks one. Adrian Peterson with a first down run. Finally stopped at the 36-yard line. And that is his longest run as a member of the Titans.
There has always been a frenetic violence and beauty in the way that Adrian Peterson runs the ball. You just know he's ready to run into somebody and try and run them over at the tail end of the run.
A 16-yard pickup. They go right back to him. And Peterson to the 40. Time for an NFL Today update. Here's JB and Phil Simms.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, sneaks out of the backfield, little play action fake to him, goes down the sideline. Carson Wentz finds him from 23 yards out for the touchdown. The Indianapolis Colts 14, Buffalo nothing. Back to Andrew, James, and Sherry.
Hey, let's go.
All right,
hey,
Phil. So Taylor entered today tied for the NFL rushing lead with Derrick Henry. So that was a pass, but assuming Taylor has at least 1 yard rushing, he's the new leader. How about Peterson into Houston territory? Another first down run, a gain of 12.
Throughout his career, Adrian Peterson has always been a right arm carry guy. You know, he's going to his left. So if you're coaching a guy coming to junior high school, you'd say, put that ball in the left arm. Well, Adrian Peterson, after 14,000 yards, there's some things you don't need to correct.
Tannehill steps up, fires for A.J. Brown. The hand looks okay there. What a catch by Brown. Terrence Mitchell had the coverage.
When you have a normal-sized receiver, it's one thing to cover them and to cover them well. But when you have to cover A.J. Brown, you've got to worry about covering him. And then you have to worry about the run after the catch. That time he's going out of bounds, so no worries.
10-yard gain and another Tennessee first down. Peterson. Another run for Peterson here. We sat with him after practice on Friday here in Nashville, and he said, look, we haven't done the job the last 2 games in the running game without Derrick Henry. We need more from our running back room. And James, he's playing that way so far today. He already has 38 yards rushing. He had 42 yards rushing in his first 2 games.
And the other thing he does everything fast-paced. From walkthroughs to jogging off the field right there. He's sprinting off the field, trying to get off and so he can catch his breath. He talked about his lungs and just being in shape cardio-wise.
Deontay Foreman in at running back, the former Texan, on 2nd down and 5. Play action. Tannehill over the middle. That's A.J. Brown again. Bounces off of one tackler, and he's got a Tennessee first down. Justin Reed could not make the tackle. And a couple of catches now on this drive for Brown.
You know, Andrew, I don't like to talk about when I played, but when I played, if I had gotten hit as hard as A.J. Brown did back then, right there, I'd have been knocked back 10 yards.
Hey, Brown!
An 11-yard gain. Final minute of the first quarter. Hand off to Foreman. Trying the right side, and he gets inside the 20. Drew J. Hill on the tackle after a 4-yard run.
That little wide zone where you're getting a stretch, all the offensive linemen are working, they're staying on their feet. It's like the moving ballet. You keep those defensive linemen in front of you, allow the back to make that one cut.
They do not have to snap it here. Time could run out in the opening quarter. They will snap it. Tannehill taking a shot for the end zone for Johnson, and it's incomplete. Desmond King had the coverage. With Johnson now limping a little bit after that last route.
This ball's just a little bit inside, and when he reaches out for it, you can see him grabbing that right hamstring area.
Well, it was the hamstring that caused him to miss the first 4 games of the season. He began the year on IR, and he is slowly walking back to the Tennessee sideline. Chester Rogers takes his place with 1 second left in the first quarter. What expires?
Timeout.
Tennessee got the timeout in before the play clock hit 0. So each team having to use a timeout here in the first quarter because the play clock was winding down. So Mike Vrabel spent 4 years as a member of the Houston Texans coaching staff, but it also goes back with David Culley to Pittsburgh. 1998, Vrabel, a linebacker for the Steelers, and David Culley, an assistant for Pittsburgh. Culley called Vrabel tough and selfless. That's a pretty good description as we check in with Sherry.
Yeah, Andrew, I asked Coach Culley pregame. I said, did Coach Vrabel ever ask or really try to get any passes thrown to him? He said, no way, but he tried.
Well, we know he was able to catch the football when he was with the Patriots.
10 touchdown receptions.
3rd and 6. Tannehill intercepted. Picked off by Drew J. Hill. Head of steam for the linebacker. Tannehill chasing. Drew J. Hill inside the 20 and dragged down around the 5. Willard. Second career interception for Drew J. Hill. And a huge play by the Texans defense. That is how the first quarter comes to an end. A red zone pick by Ryan Tannehill.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Gap and by Charmin. We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
Big play here by the Houston defense. Ryan Tannehill with his 9th interception of the season. He had 7 all of last year, and now it is 1st and goal for the Texans. Phillip Lindsay in at running back. It's a pitch to Lindsay. Lindsay hit hard and pushed back. Harold Landry and Jayon Brown the first to get there.
Tough to run that toss play when the safeties don't have to be back deep. They can be up really close to the line of scrimmage. See Fulton turning the play back in, and then the linebackers being able to collapse on Phillip Lindsay.
This is unfamiliar territory for Houston. Just their 20th red zone drive of the season. That's the fewest in the NFL. By comparison's sake, Tennessee has 25 red zone touchdowns this year. 2nd down. Quick pass. Johnson trying to get away from Landry, and he's out of bounds around the 5. We mentioned this in our open, but week 2 is the last time the Texans have scored a touchdown on the road. It was in Cleveland. It was Davis Mills to Brandon Cooks. It was 258 plays ago on the road. And they finally get back in the end zone.
So if you're looking for Brandon Cooks, you got to move him, or you have to use him in some way that can take advantage of his quickness there as a number 3 receiver.
3rd and goal. Taylor looking end zone, and it is caught. Is he in? No signal yet. Nico Collins made the catch, and they're saying he was out of bounds.
If I'm David Kelly, I'm going to want to take a look at this because I believe his elbow came down. He had 1 foot, and then that elbow comes down in bounds. Once that elbow's in bounds, that's a catch. Really, really close. I think that's what I want to look at if I'm David Cully.
David Cully has not thrown the challenge flag this year until right now. Cully with a good toss, former Vanderbilt quarterback, so he's got some arm strength still, and the red flag is out.
You know, Cully talked about Nico Collins coming back, one of those players who's kind of getting that second win in the second half of the season. Didn't play a lot early, but David Cully always with a smile on his face.
Houston is challenging the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass.
If it's overturned, it'll be the first NFL touchdown for the rookie Nico Collins. We're back after this.
After review, the ruling on the field will stand as an incomplete pass. It will be 4th down and goal from the 6.5-yard line, and Houston will be charged with their 2nd timeout.
Gene Steratore is with us, and they do not overturn it, Gene.
Yeah, and you know, I think it's a good call and a great play by Nico Collins to try to make this catch, but I feel that the left knee lands and hits in the white before the right elbow, which lands in the end zone. So it's kind of a knee on the white before the elbow in bounds, and a good ruling of stands by Tony Corrente.
All right, Gene, thank you very much. It is a 24-yard field goal for Fairbairn, who has now made 56 in a row inside 40 yards. That's the longest active streak. We'll be back in 30 seconds after this from Lowe's.
There's a new team in the NFL.
One that plays for home. Everyone's home. Whether you're a rookie or a seasoned pro.
This team has your back. We can help you tackle any project.
We're the Lowe's home team, and anyone can be on it.
Are you in?
Try out for the Lowe's home team today.
So David Cully now 0-for-1 in his challenge career. He told us earlier this season that before the first game, he left the red flag in his office. He was so excited to get out to the field, left it in the office, and the equipment guy came out before kickoff and said, "Coach, I think you need this." He said that was his first coaching error of the regular season. You can see how passionate he is on that bench, and his team now has a 6-0 lead, but still without a touchdown on the road. And a touchback for Fairbairn. Well, the Tennessee Titans visited soldiers at Fort Campbell in honor of the NFL's Salute to Service initiative. Cheerleaders, mascot T-Rack, and staff provided lunch to 300 soldiers during their Warrior Wednesday event and handed out Titan shirts, hats, and giveaway items. They also brought board games, books, and toys to support the USO's annual Great Gift Giveaway. So the interception by Tannehill leads to 3 points. It's a 6-0 game. Play action. Tannehill fires too high for A.J. Brown, deflected at the line, and Justin Reed was in the area of a potential interception. Zach Cunningham got a hand on it.
And it is really important for that underneath coverage, that lower element, those linebackers, they're stepping up to stop the run. Even though there's no Derrick Henry, they've seen what Adrian Peterson has been able to do. So they step up, and immediately now you have to get back or get your hands up. That time, Zach Cunningham, great job getting his hands up in the throwing lane.
It's a pitch, and it's Foreman. 8-yard run for the former Texan. He was drafted by Houston in the 3rd round in 2017. Spent 2 years with the Texans.
Well, you run that toss play and every lineman is pulling from the left tackle to the right tackle.
3rd down and 2. Foreman bottled up to Marcus Walker, standing up Deontay Foreman, and it's 4th down.
Come on, here we go. Right.
And Mike Vrabel will send out Brett Kern. And a few boos from the fans here in Nashville. A slow start by the 8-2 Titans.
I think that you have to play the field position game at this point. Get a good kick in. Make the Texans really go all the way down the field. But Desmond King is a dangerous punt returner.
King drifts over to his left and fields it at the 15. Right down the sideline, he runs into the fullback, Torrey Carter. A 7-yard return after a 52-yard punt. 6-0 Houston. (6-0) Houston in front of Tennessee. Tonight, Queen Latifah returns in the Equalizer, the show that critics are calling fresh and reinvigorating. Don't miss a new episode of The Equalizer tonight after 60 minutes on CBS. As the rain starts to fall here in Nashville. Showers in the forecast for the rest of the afternoon. Taylor on the move, throws on the run, and it's caught by Conley. And that's good for a 1st down. Big injury news. Let's check in with Sherry Burris.
Andrew, another injury, as you said it. Marcus Johnson for the Titans. He is out with a hamstring injury. As he slowly walked back to the bench, I saw him look to a teammate. The teammate asked if he was okay. It looked like he shook his head no. So yet again, Titans dealing with another injury in this one.
It's amazing. It's just really amazing. And Mike Vrabel is just having Wednesday walkthroughs now. They're barely practicing on Wednesday to try to just get some healthy bodies as Taylor throws incomplete, but a flag comes down. Flag was in the secondary, and it's going to go against Tennessee.
Pass interference, defense number 26. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic 1st down.
That's on Christian Fulton, matched up with Brandon Cooks.
You know, Andrew, just 1 second to step back to the injuries that the Titans are trying to overcome is that it impacts special teams. The guys who are on special teams have to step up and more of a role on offense. And Marcus Johnson started off as a kickoff return man also.
Tyrod Taylor lost the snap, and he falls on it. Dylan Cole is coming across quickly, and it's 2nd down.
There is that first little drizzle of rain starting to fall, and then the ball will get slick. People will make adjustments, thinking about how to, you know, get the ball. Right there, you can see just in his hands that ball is just a little bit slick.
Another injury on the Houston side. Jordan Jenkins, defensive lineman, questionable to return with a knee injury. Taylor slings one to Cooks. And Brandon Cooks lowers his shoulder. A couple of yards shy of a 1st down. Fulton and Molden combine on the stop.
You know, we've had Brandon Cooks in our meetings twice. And when you sit across from him, you go, this guy's been in the weight room a little bit. And he made the comment that I'm a dog. And he likes to be physical, even though you would look at him and think, oh, here's a small, quick little receiver. Stay away from the trouble. And you saw him put his shoulder down and go for the yardage.
3rd down and 3. David Johnson at running back. Taylor swings it to Johnson, makes the catch, gets past Cole, and it's a 1st down. A late flag comes in from behind the play in the secondary. And it's going to be another call against Tennessee as the rain starts to intensify here. See the face mask by Dylan Cole.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask, defense number 53. This 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. 1st down.
Dylan Cole, the former Texan. Forced a fumble on the kickoff last week against the Saints. That was a big play in that game, which Tennessee held on to win by 2.
You know, one of the things that's important for the officials to keep the ball dry in between plays, so they need to have a towel out on the field pretty quickly.
Here's Burkhead on the carry, and Rex Burkhead crosses the 20. We asked Tyrod Taylor last night, you know, with the rain in the forecast, is there anything that you do differently? And he said, the only thing I'll do is I'll take the visor off my helmet. No windshield wipers for the visor. So there you go. Usually has the visor in. It's out right now with the rain falling. Second down and 7. Taylor throws, and it's held onto by Chris Conley.
You know what? Your hesitation in calling that was the same hesitation that Conley had trying to catch it. Because that ball's right on target, and you can see him just kind of trying to make sure he has it in his hands before he runs across the out-of-bounds stripe. Right on the money, but oh, double catch.
His third catch of the first half. He has 10 catches the entire season entering today. 3rd and 1. A give to Burkhead, and he's got the first down. Rex Burkhead, the Plano, Texas native, with another first down run. Inside 9 minutes to go in the opening half, and it's 1st and goal as the Texans get set to run the 8th play of this drive.
And when you have a rain day, points are at a premium. So you've got to protect the football here, no turnovers, and try and get in the end zone if you're the Houston Texans.
On his feet and then brought down at the 7-yard line by Brown. So this was the last time the Texans scored a touchdown on the road. Way back in week 2 in Cleveland, Davis Mills to Brandon Cooks. It's now 4 straight road games without a touchdown. That's tied for the longest streak in the NFL going back to 1960. Trying to punch it in here on 2nd and goal. Taylor moving. He's got some room at the 5. Tyrod up and in! Touchdown! And finally, the Texans with a road touchdown, their first since week 2. 268 plays ago, they scored on the road, and they do it again thanks to an incredible run from Tyrod Taylor.
You know, tongue-in-cheek, coming into this ball game, we're talking about Ryan Tannehill being the leading rusher. Maybe Tyrod Taylor took offense to that and says, I'm going to take things into my own legs. Gets a rushing yard.
His 2nd rushing touchdown of the season, 18th of his career, and the extra point is no good. Fairbairn with his 3rd missed extra point of the year. But the Texans finally into the end zone on the road thanks to Tyrod Taylor. Now it's time for Game Moments presented by Meta. Tyrod Taylor has started 10 out of 12 throwing the football. Adrian Peterson, 38 yards rushing. Drew J. Hill, the interception. And a moment ago, Tyrod Taylor up and in. And it is 12-0 in favor of the Texans. Short kick, Hilliard on the return. Hilliard up the middle and across the 30. A 27-yard return for Hilliard, who is filling in for Marcus Johnson, ruled out with a hamstring injury. So Ryan Tannehill goes back to work. It's been a rough start for this Tennessee offense. 2 punts and the interception. now without Marcus Johnson as well. Miscommunication there, and a flag is down. A delay on that handoff from Tannehill to Deontay Foreman, and now let's see what the penalty is. It's going to be against the Texans.
Offside. Defense number 90. Lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That goes on Ross Blacklock. David Culley saying the penalties and turnovers are my responsibility. That's on me. And another one here, but you see, Tannehill went one way and Foreman wasn't there.
You've got a lot of guys who are playing more than what they ever expected and in new roles.
This time a smooth handoff to Foreman and a nice run by the fourth-year man out of Texas. First down, Derek Rivers on the tackle after a gain of 8.
Got to make sure, if you're the Texans, that you're covering those gaps. But this is a nice job by the Titans in having one-on-one blocking, hat on a hat. Be physical. You're in the rain. You've got to make sure that you can move the ball down the field on the ground and take your shots when you get a chance through the air.
Back to Foreman. And the rookie Roy Lopez is there to make the tackle. He's really had a nice season for the Texans. A 6th-round pick out of Arizona and his first career sack last time out against Miami.
And you can see the rain falling in front of you. And earlier in the ball game, when A.J. Brown got hurt, he had on red gloves. Then he went to white gloves. Now the rain is coming down. He's gone gloveless. Some players really like the feel of the ball in their hands when it's raining.
There is A.J. Brown in motion. 2nd and 11. Pressure coming. It's a screen. Foreman got a lot of room to run. Foreman is hit. And down at the 40, it was Eric Murray who made the hit. Last week, Foreman went 39 yards on a screen. Here he picks up 15.
You've got to have great patience on a screen. Foreman outruns all 3 blockers who are inside and takes the brunt of that hit from Murray at the end of the play. So if he had slowed down just a little bit, he would have been able to let his lineman get out in front.
That rain really coming down right now with 5.5 to go in the second quarter. Foreman trying to get to the outside. He does. Nice stiff arm there. And Neville Hewitt finally tracks him down.
A.J. Brown started that play. He came in short motion. He sealed the outside with a really good block, because normally you're right there, and if that running back bounces outside, there's Brown coming inside to clear the inside, and it's one-on-one out on the outside, and Desmond King suffered the stiff arm. Maybe that stiff arm is left over from Derrick Henry running on this field.
Peterson is in the running back now on 2nd and 1. Hand off to Peterson, and he is stuffed. Zach Cunningham coming up to make the play. Played collegiately at Vanderbilt, 2nd-round pick in 2017.
And an up-and-down season for Zach Cunningham. They moved him around a little bit. Zach Cunningham led the NFL in tackles a year ago, and now he's just 3rd on his own team. But that play right there is kind of like the progression, learning a new defense, finding out what Lovie Smith wants you to do on the field. So all these things are kind of new as opposed to what he was doing last year this time.
3rd down and 2. Tannehill, quick pass, caught by Pruitt, right at the sticks. I think he's going to be short. Eric Murray makes another tackle. It was actually
nice
it was
closing speed.
Ferkser who made the catch, and he is short. And it's 4th down.
And I think you're at the position where it would be a long field goal in the rain. But here you got to just say, okay, we can get half a yard with the type of ball club that we are.
They're going for it. 71% this year on fourth down, second best in the NFL. Tannehill, Peterson, he didn't get there. Drew J. Hill, one of the first to get back there, and this Texans defense makes another big play. They needed just a couple of inches. Peterson does not get it. Rain continues to fall at Nissan Stadium, and the Texans defense comes up with another big play. They lead at 12-0. They have one timeout left, 3:04 on the clock. And on first down, they hand it to David Johnson, who's taken down for a loss. Tier Tart on the tackle. Well, let's go back to that fourth down play, James.
Yeah, when you need to cross somebody's face to block them, that's awfully tough. If you're trying to block down in those directions, and that defense gets a push, and there's nowhere for Adrian Peterson to run, because you can see a little gap there, but everybody's because they're trying to wall those guys off to their inside.
Easy to second guess now, but Deontay Foreman was performing very well on that drive. They took him out, brought in Peterson, and he was not able to get the first.
Fifth all-time NFL history. Come on.
Second and 13, and Ferrell Brown is taken down by Jayon Brown, but a flag is down.
Well, that's coming from the far side of the field, right in front of where Mike Vrabel was in the ear of the official.
That's going to go against the Texans.
An eligible member of the offense downfield prior to pass number 64. This penalty has been declined. The result of play, third down.
It'll be third down. Don't forget, coming up, Verizon halftime report. JP, Phil, Nate, Boomer, and Coach Cower have all the latest NFL scores and highlights coming up on the Verizon halftime report. So far in this half, the Texans are 3 for 5 on third down, but a long one here. It's 3rd and 11.
Cover 0, nobody back in deep center field. They're coming after the quarterback.
And first, it's the 2-minute warning. 12-0, Texans in front on CBS. Two minutes to go in the opening half. Big surprise so far. Texans up a dozen on the Titans. They've each run 27 plays. Difference here, Tennessee an interception, and they got stopped on fourth down. 3rd and 11. Tyrod gets rid of it to Johnson. Blockers ahead across the 35. There is a flag down. Johnson is tackled short of the marker. And now let's see what the penalty is.
I think you got Brevin Jordan, the tight end, offensive pass interference, blocking while this screen passes in the air.
Pass interference, offense, number 9, 5-yard.
You know, one of those small rules in college, you can block when the ball is thrown behind the line of scrimmage. In the pros, you cannot.
Correction, Tennessee has opted to decline the penalty, creating fourth down.
Yeah, clearly you decline that. It'll be fourth down. You'll get the ball back with some extra time on the clock and 2 timeouts for Mike Vrabel. First punt today by Cameron Johnston of the Texans. He is 7th in the NFL in net yardage, averaging 43 yards per punt.
The nice thing about the penalty is it did add another clock stoppage for the Tennessee Titans.
Chester Rogers is the deep man. End over end kick. Rogers from the 15, and he cannot escape A.J. Moore. Great special teams play by Moore. The 4th-year man out of Ole Miss. His teammates with A.J. Brown at Mississippi, and he makes a big play. A 47-yard punt and a loss of 1. Now there is a flag down late in front of the Tennessee sideline. Here's Tony Corrente. And still some confusion here. We've not had the call yet from Corrente.
Well, the flag was thrown in the area where they were trying to block more, which they were doing unsuccessfully.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 49. This penalty be assessed half the distance to the goal, first down.
It's on 49 to Zubnar. And that pushes Tennessee back. So Tennessee will start this drive at its own 7-yard line. They have 2 timeouts, 1:44 on the clock. And his Ferkser in motion. Tannehill in his own end zone. Throws high over the middle, incomplete. Off the hands of A.J. Brown. Terrence Mitchell almost tracked that one down for a pick. This Houston defense is playing very well today.
You know, it's interesting. When we talked to Lovie Smith, he said the guys are learning what we want from them and how to practice in the right way. Yes, the results haven't been there at 1-8, but he felt like they were making progress, and that progress is taking place today.
Second down, Tannehill to Hilliard out of the backfield. And he is hit by Cunningham and Mitchell. Ball at the 15-yard line after a gain of 8.
And how fast do you go here if you're the Titans?
3rd and 2. Tannehill to Brown. And there's the first down out of bounds to stop the clock with 1:14 to go. I understand your point, James.
Yeah. I mean, if that ball is incomplete, then the Texans have a lot of time on the clock with 1 timeout.
Only 1 timeout left for Houston, and Tennessee needs to get something going here. They have been outplayed in this first half. There's Hilliard, dropped it. 2nd and 10 coming up. Verizon halftime report. Our crew back in New York has all the latest scores and highlights coming up on the Verizon halftime report. So a drop by Hilliard. It's 2nd down and 10.
Both safeties deep so that they can keep everything in front of them. No throws over the top here.
Tannehill, and he completes one for a first down. That is Chester Rogers on the reception. Tennessee has those 2 timeouts. They'll hustle up to the line, try to preserve them.
I think if you get past midfield, you need to use one of them.
Tannehill to Ferkser, makes the catch, tackled immediately at the 41 by number 41, Zach Cunningham. And now Mike Vrabel will call timeout with 48 seconds to go. So each team with 1 timeout remaining. Randy Bullock loosening up on the Tennessee sideline. His season long is 51 yards. Career long a couple of years ago in Miami. He hit from 57 when he was a member of the Bengals. Tannehill's 10 out of 17 for 92 yards and an interception.
If you are Lovie Smith, you continue to come with 4. And if you're going to come with 4, tell your defensive linemen if they don't get close, get those hands up, get them in the passing lanes, because he's throwing a lot of the things in the middle of the field.
A.J. Brown on the bottom of your screen matched up with Terrence Mitchell on 2nd down. Tannehill, another screen to Hilliard. Hilliard has the first. Hilliard across midfield and down at the 48-yard line. 11-yard pickup. 35 seconds to go.
Make sure you shade the coverage toward A.J. Brown.
Tannehill has time. Hilliard again. dinking and doinking right down the field. And now a timeout called by Vrabel. That's his final timeout with 23 seconds left.
So you're at the stage right now where you're going to get in possibly 3 throws. And you want to try and throw the ball down the field to A.J. Brown and make it a contested play where perhaps you have a defensive pass interference. Although the Houston Texans have been really good in that area. It was funny. We got a chuckle talking to Lovie Smith. He said, we don't teach defensive pass interference. We don't teach them to hold and to grab and do all those things. They've only been flagged for it one time or penalized for it one time this season so far.
Yeah, pretty amazing. One defensive pass interference penalty all year by the Texans defense. Tennessee out of timeouts.
And here's A.J. Brown at the bottom of your screen.
Tannehill throws, and it is caught. Another first down. Now they got to hustle. Dez Fitzpatrick with his second career reception. 10 seconds left. And Tannehill stops it with 9 seconds on the clock. And a flag comes out.
Make sure you are aligned properly, covering up those tackles on the outside.
Offside, defense number 90, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty will remain, first down.
And just a free 5 yards from Randy Bullock and this Titans offense.
Yep, see those hands in the neutral zone and all the way offsides.
Well, now, James, no timeouts. The ball is at the 24. If you're Tennessee, you take a shot or two, right?
Well, let's go all the way back to when the Jacksonville Jaguars won their first game. Remember, they had 7 seconds on the clock. They ran a quick slant, but they had a timeout. No timeouts for the Tennessee Titans. Got to throw this ball in the end zone. A.J. Brown right in the middle.
Tannehill in trouble, just throws it up, trying to get it out of bounds. He does, and the clock stops with 4 seconds to go. And now another flag comes out.
At Blaylock's feet. So did the ball get back to the line of scrimmage? Blacklock was chasing the quarterback.
Intentional grounding. Offense, number 17. The ball be placed at the spot of the foul, and because the clock was running, this will require the game clock to be adjusted by 10 seconds. That is the end of the first half.
Wow. What a huge penalty against Tennessee. With the 10-second runoff, that's the end of the first half. Let's take a look at our first half highlight presented by State Farm. Tyrod Taylor. Nifty run into the end zone. And at the half, it is 12-0 in favor of the Texans. Here's a look at the first half numbers. And Ryan Tannehill with the interception. That's the only turnover of the game. The teams combined for 9 penalties in the first half. And hi again, everyone. Along with James Lofton, I'm Andrew Catalan. We'll hear from Sherry Burris coming up. During halftime, our rules analyst, Gene Sterator, tweeted that was the right call. Correct. At the end of the first half. Intentional grounding going against Ryan Tannehill. And that kind of summed up the first half. Nothing went Tennessee's way.
It really did. And if you're Tim Kelly, the offensive play caller for the Tennessee Titans, you want something that you can sink your teeth into. And so far, the Titans, who run the ball well, don't have Derrick Henry. They have to find the ground game, and that interception that Ryan Tannehill threw not only gave the Texans 3 points on the other end, it took the scoring opportunity away from the Titans. So the Titans in the second half need to find ways to take the ball away from the Texans themselves, get some scores.
And let's check in with Sherry Burris.
Well, Andrew, I asked Coach Vrabel if his message of urgency this week was coming into play. He calmly said no. He says they're doing good things, but as you guys were just talking about, needing to limit those turnovers. But head coach Culley said, yes, we're taking advantage of those turnovers, and called Tennessee the model when he means by run the ball, limit turnovers, and play good defense. But he did point out they need 6 points, not just 3. They're not going to win this game kicking just field goals. Andrew?
Yeah, he has said that all season. And he did go for a field goal on a close 4th down play, that second field goal. But it is 12-0 Houston, and they do get the football to begin the second half. Tremon Smith is back deep. He averages 29 yards per kick return this season.
Well, Andrew, anytime you have weather like this, it's like when you check into a hotel. Do you want the free breakfast or do you want the points? Take the points because they're so hard to come by when the weather's bad. Although I enjoy a free breakfast.
I'm speechless. That was a new one. And it's a touchback. It'll be Texans football at the 25-yard line. Tyrod Taylor, 12 out of 14 for 94 yards. You see the first half possessions for the Texans. 2 field goals and a touchdown. Trying to stop an 8-game losing streak. They won the opener way back in week 1 against Jacksonville. Have not won since. And the rain continues to fall here in Nashville. Rex Burkhead starts at running back. And he takes the handoff. Burkhead across the 25 and picks up 4 yards on the play. Monty Rice on the tackle.
You know, ball security is so high right now. You want running backs who secure the football because the second guy in for the tackle is trying to rip that ball out. The ball's slick, it's wet. You want to make sure that you have guys who really handle the ball exceptionally well.
Second down and 6. Moore is the motion man. They go back to Burkhead. And Burkhead with a nice run, bouncing off tacklers right to the 35-yard line. That should be good for a first down.
He spotted him a little bit short of the 35. You're right, he bounced, and when he bounced right past the 35-yard line.
They have to get to the 35. You can see how close they spot it. It's 3rd down and short.
And go back to when the Titans had a 3rd down against the Texans and getting pushed back off the line of scrimmage. So you've got to control that line of scrimmage up front if you're Houston.
Taylor pitches it to Burkhead. He's got the first down. Escorted out of bounds by Kevin Byard. But the drive continues for the Texans after an 8-yard run by Burkhead.
Boy, I really like what Tim Kelly did right there, because you're thinking, yeah, they're going to come in the middle. They're going to come in the middle. Well, you go to the outside, everybody's clogged up in the middle. They brought in bigger defensive linemen. They couldn't keep up with the outside run.
Give to Johnson his first carry of the second half, and he gets a yard on the play. David Culley telling us that we're not winning, but everyone is buying in. They don't act like a 1-8 team in the locker room. And he even told us that even the Deshaun Watson situation has not affected them in the locker room. He likes the character and the makeup of this Texans team, even though the wins have not come. 2nd and 9. Johnson tiptoes his way across the 45. It'll bring up 3rd down.
If you're thinking, I really like what Burkhead did on the first couple of carries, and now David Johnson comes in and he's not as aggressive attacking line of scrimmage. But what it allows is for David Johnson to have had the ball in his hands, and he's really at his best on 3rd downs when he's a receiver out of the backfield. So now you have a David Johnson who has had the ball in his hands, and you can throw to him as an option out of the backfield.
Third down and 6. Taylor throws, and Jordan makes the catch. And with that spot, that is going to be enough for a first down. Brevin Jordan, the rookie out of Miami.
That is either Go ahead, Andrew. I'm
sorry. I was going to say, he was inactive the first 7 games of the year. They were almost treating it like a red shirt type season, but now playing his 3rd game in a row with a big catch on 3rd down.
Yeah, but you take 3 preseason games, 7 regular season games, you did red shirt.
First and 10. Taylor chased out, directing traffic. Now he'll keep it himself, and he slides at the 40.
There had been a slow creep of the linebackers kind of coming up and the safeties coming up, and that time you wanted to try and throw the ball beyond them, but it wasn't there. And Taylor smartly doesn't throw the ball, doesn't go for the incompletion, turns upfield, picks up 7 yards.
And James, very little pressure applied by this Tennessee defense on Tyrod Taylor today. As Burkhead gets a yard on the play. And this is a Tennessee defense that tied for 4th in the NFL in sacks coming in. 19 in the last 6 games, which is the most in the NFL during that span, but they do not have a sack today. In fact, they've only hit Tyrod Taylor once on his dropback attempts.
Interesting for David Culley here. Is this 4-down territory, perhaps, being 3rd and short?
Burkhead, and they're not going to have to worry about it because he picks up another 1st down. Monty Rice on the stop, but a fresh set of downs coming for the Texans.
I think one of the things that good quality backs understand, what is the down and distance? 3rd and 2, I'm not going to dance around too much. I'm going to try and hit the hole and pick up the necessary yardage to pick up the 1st down. We have a measurement coming.
Yeah, it might not be the necessary yardage because they readjusted the spot, and now Tony Corrente wants a measurement. David Culley not too happy because he did not get a very favorable spot. And he's just short. So now it is decision time for Culley. Take another 4th and inches now. Here's another look at the replay with the yellow line in there, which is unofficial. Burkhead appeared to cross that line easily.
He really did. When the official runs in, he's running in front of that line, not behind it.
And Culley will challenge. Challenging the spot. So he lost his first challenge in the 1st half, and he believes that his team should have been given a 1st down here. That's the way we saw it up here.
Houston is challenging the ruling on the field of the ball short of a 1st down.
So we'll step aside. Another challenge by David Culley. We're back after this. David Culley has lost the challenge, Gene Steratore.
Yeah, and I think when we see Rex Burkhead go to the ground there, watch the right shin land before he gets the full extension of that extra piece that he would have needed to gain the 1st down. These are very difficult when you're trying to move a football 2 or 3 inches, and I don't see anything that would give them a reason to overturn that.
All right, Gene, thank you. 4th and inches, Burkhead, and this time he's got it. Now, even if he had won the challenge, that was the last challenge Culley is allowed because he lost one in the 1st half. So Texans lose a timeout there, and they are without a challenge the rest of the way, but they do get the 1st down.
And if you're down in Houston, sitting in your armchair, just remember, 8 in a row. You've lost 8 games in a row, and you need to exercise every ability to try and give your team an advantage. That time tried to go for the 1st down. He thought he had gotten it, but they did pick it up on 4th down.
9 of the 10 plays on this drive have been on the ground, and they keep it that way with Johnson, and he is pushed back. Naquan Jones, the first to get back there.
Now you you are a little bit behind the quote sticks, 2nd and 11, how can you get your team to 3rd and 4? What do you have to do to get Brandon Cooks on the move, get him away from the coverage, to get him away from the double teams that he faces?
Cooks is the motion man. Taylor will keep it himself again and pushed out by Elijah Molden.
Get Cooks in motion. You're trying to run a bootleg back to the right. And a nice job by Molden really tracking Tyrod Taylor down, because he doesn't have anybody that he has to have in coverage. So attack the quarterback and make the quarterback make a premature decision.
They've already converted 3 times for first down on this drive. Looking for another one here. It's 3rd and 9. Taylor on the move, throws on the run, and it's incomplete. Intended for Brevin Jordan. Molden on the coverage again, and it's 4th down.
Rookie against rookie. The Titans were raving about Elijah Molden early in the season. Had a little bit of a setback. He's been playing a lot more again lately. And he is a player who is wise beyond his years after his dad played in the league for a number of years. And he just came in as a ready-made nickelback.
How about this? It would be a 53-yard field goal attempt for Fairbairn, and David Culley is not going to try it. Sends out his punter, Johnston. Obviously, it's raining, but Fairbairn has hit from 53 this year. Instead, he's playing the field position game. And it hit Rodgers! It hit him on the leg! The Texans have it! Chester Rogers was trying to get out of the way. It hit him on his foot, and it's Houston football.
Directional punt, and Rodgers trying to get in the way of the gunner, trying to get him out of the way. You see him trying to move him out of the way, but Moore slowed him down just enough where that ball clips him on the back of the leg.
A Tennessee team tied for the best record in the NFL at 8-2. And they have made mistake after mistake today, and now the latest one gives the Texans 1st and goal at the 5-yard line.
Got a heavy package in with an extra offensive lineman, Sharping, number 74, and as an eligible receiver.
Rex Burkhead lines up next to Taylor. 1st and goal. Taylor rolling right. Throws on the run, incomplete in the direction of Brandon Cooks. Well, remember what David Culley told Sherry coming out of halftime. He said we cannot settle for field goals. We have to score touchdowns. So let's see if it does come to a 4th down, if he goes for it.
Well, on that last play, it was your best against my best. Brandon Cooks against Kevin Byard, and Byard won on that one.
Chester Rogers watching. 2nd and goal. Burkhead runs into his own man and pushed back. Jayon Brown, Tier Tart combined on the tackle, and it's 3rd down.
And I know the mantra from David Culley was let's get touchdowns. Let's get 3 points and go up 15-0 also would not be a bad call. So you talk to Tyrod Taylor. If you call a pass and it's not there, you throw this ball out of the back of the end zone.
Chris Jackson a little slow to get up. He got the start at corner today in favor of Jack Rabbit Jenkins, who's inactive with a chest injury. And we have a timeout on the field. It'll be 3rd and goal when we come back.
FedEx, where now meets next. And by Coors Light, made to chill.
A look at the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum. After the injury to Jackson, 3rd and goal for Houston. Amendola tripped in motion. Taylor rolling left. Taylor's going to keep it himself. He dives for the end zone, and he's in! Touchdown, Texans!
Stop playing with you, Tyrod Taylor!
Second rushing touchdown of the day for Taylor. And it's 18-0 in favor of Houston.
So obviously the math is easy to do. We went from a 2-score game to a 3-score game, and this puts so much pressure on the Tennessee Titans when they get this ball back to do something in the very first drive that they have.
Taylor just getting in. He now has 28 yards rushing to go along with those 2 touchdowns. And Fairbairn comes out for the extra point. He missed one earlier. This one is good. And they are stunned in Nashville. The 1-8 Texans go up 19-0. It's the first time in Tyrod Taylor's career that he has 2 rushing touchdowns in a game. A look from the pylon cam there as he just gets in, and it's 19-0 with Fairbairn set to kick it away to Dontrell Hilliard. Hilliard from the 5. And Hilliard across the 20 and tackled at the 23-yard line. Big-time mistakes today from this 8-2 Tennessee team. Starting with the interception by Drew J. Hill.
Yeah, that ball thrown down in the red zone, and you're taking points off your scoreboard and putting them on the Texans scoreboard. And obviously, this play right here where that ball hits the heel of Chester Rogers, trying to get away from it, doesn't get away quickly enough.
In real time, this is the first play Tennessee will run offensively in 39 minutes. It's a handoff to Peterson. Now, the only good news from a Tennessee perspective is that they have an NFL best 6 touchdowns on the opening drive of the second half this season. This is their opening drive of the second half. And we asked Todd Downing, the offensive coordinator, about that on Friday, and he said, we do not script plays out of the locker room. It's just all the coaches getting together and figuring out what's gone right, what's gone wrong. There's a lot that's gone wrong so far, as they're going to have a 3rd and short coming up right here.
And what they've got on the field with their 11 personnel, 1 tight end, 1 running back, 3 wide receivers, they kind of have the Texans in a little bit of a bind in terms of trying to cover A.J. Brown up top.
3rd and 4. Tannehill fires. A.J. Brown has it. There's the first down. James, you were just talking about it. Brown beating Terrence Mitchell on the slant.
And A.J. Brown has gone from the red gloves to the white gloves to no gloves. And catching that ball in wet weather is never easy, especially on a quick slant when you're firing hard inside.
Hand off to Peterson. Lowers his shoulder and gets a couple.
You see him with that towel. He's constantly trying to keep those hands as dry as he can, but started red and went to the white. Maybe they don't have any blue gloves for him to wear after that.
4 catches, 39 yards for A.J. Brown. 2nd down and 8. It's a screen. And Peterson is shoved down by Blacklock. Ross Blacklock, a loss of 1 on that play, and it's 3rd down.
You talk to defensive linemen, and they can feel a screen coming. That guard gives them a half-hearted block, and that time Blacklock realized, hey, they're not trying to keep me from getting to the quarterback. They're trying to set me up to rush the quarterback, so I'm not involved in the screen. So nice heads-up play by Blacklock.
3rd down and 9 with 4:40 to go in the 3rd quarter. Tannehill has time, fires a strike, and it's caught by Westbrook-Ikhine into Houston territory and wrapped up at the 44 by Cunningham. A 16-yard pickup. Big play there for the Tennessee offense.
You're going to see the route down the field, but this really starts with excellent protection and nice hands catch. Not being afraid, not letting that ball get into his shoulder pads, Nice job using your hands to catch the ball in wet weather.
No huddle for Tennessee. 7th play of the drive. Tannehill to Brown. And Brown shoved out of bounds by Desmond King. A.J. Brown a little shaken up after that hit by King.
I mean, we all look at A.J. Brown. We see a guy 6'2", 210, 215. But Desmond King is a tough physical player. He gets right on that right shoulder of A.J. Brown.
Tannehill 5 out of 5 on this drive. Dumps it down over the middle to Hilliard, who's met by Cunningham. And that's good for a first down. A.J. Brown still being attended to on the Tennessee sideline. Pressure's coming. Tannehill sees it, fires deep and incomplete. Des Fitzpatrick, the intended target. Desmond King was right on him.
I think if you look at the guys who are left on the field for the Tennessee Titans at the wide receiver position, the threats that Tannehill is used to throwing to: Julio Jones, A.J. Brown, Marcus Johnson. So the top 3 are gone. Yes, he's had some time with the next 3, and Westbrook-Akina has come up with some big plays from time to time. You have to have confidence in the guys who are going to go to him down here in this area.
2nd and 10. Tannehill over the middle, cut by Rodgers. Tackle immediately made by Thomas, and he's going to be short of a first down. James, is this 4-down territory right now for Tennessee?
I was just trying to think how much Mike Vrabel is going to trust his kicker, and it's kind of going to depend on this play, because you want to see something positive happen if you want to go for it on 4th down. But look at the pass rush aligned for the Texans.
3rd and 3. Tannehill in trouble, throws it high and incomplete. The pressure was coming from DeMarcus Walker, and now it's decision time from Mike Vrabel.
Decision made.
Going for it. You pointed out, 3-score game, and we are late in the 3rd quarter. They went for it once on 4th down in the first half, did not get it. That was when Peterson got stopped on 4th down. Hilliard in it, running back here. 4th down and 3.
Justin Reed trying to read the eyes of that quarterback, and where's that ball going? He wants to go in that same direction.
Here they come, Tannehill. Hilliard has the catch and the first down. Desmond King on the tackle, but a big conversion from Mike Vrabel in Tennessee.
That's a solid play on both sides. The defense doesn't let anything get behind them deep, and then they come up, make the tackle, but enough yardage gained by Tennessee to convert the 4th down.
5 catches today for Hilliard. Tannehill looking end zone, and it's caught! Touchdown! Des Fitzpatrick! His first NFL touchdown! And what a story this young man is. A 4th-round pick in this year's draft. He had a horrible training camp and was actually cut. Only the 2nd time the Titans have cut a 4th-round rookie after training camp. The other one was Brad Ware back in 1999. Nobody claimed him on waivers, so Fitzpatrick was brought back to the practice squad. Things started to click, and now he has a touchdown, but Bullock misses the extra point. So the Titans are on the board, and it's the 7th time this year they've scored a touchdown on their opening drive of the 2nd half. They trail by 13.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by Lowe's, official home improvement sponsor of the NFL.
Rain intensifying here in Nashville, but the Titans are on the board. They now trail 19-6 late in the 3rd quarter. Tremon Smith on the return. And Smith is Tackled at the 25, and James, let's go back to the touchdown.
Yeah, it's a master class by Ryan Tannehill. His vision is going to come this way, and he's going to hold Justin Reed, the free safety, to his left, knowing all along that he wants to come back and throw that ball to the right and get Fitzpatrick right on the numbers. And there's number 20. He had gone the opposite direction because he was following the eyes of Ryan Tannehill.
And James, a bit of a surprise. Mike Vrabel did not go for 2 there. Had they gotten it, it would have been an 11-point game, a touchdown with the 2-point and the field goal. Instead, it was a missed extra point, as Burkhead never had it. He slipped. Now a big holiday weekend of college football coming your way on CBS, beginning Friday at noon with Boise State and number 19 San Diego State. Sherry Burris will be at that one, followed by Missouri matching up with number 21 Arkansas. And then Saturday at 3:30, SEC on CBS, number 2 Alabama going up against Auburn, adding another chapter to the Iron Bowl. It's all coming up this week on CBS. 2-yard loss on first down at 2nd and 12. Empty backfield next to Taylor. Taylor throws incomplete. Ferrell Brown, the intended target. Monty Rice had the coverage. And it's 3rd and long.
Balls are wet. They get a little heavy. It's hard to execute. Right now, that momentum starting to shift a little bit. Moving toward the Titans. A 3-and-out here would go miles. And what I would do, returning the punt, I'd put 2 punt returners back because I don't want that ball to hit the ground and to roll for an extra 5, 10, 15 yards.
Play clock at 2. Taylor incomplete. Felt the pressure. Jeffries Simmons saying he got a hand on that one, and a big stand by the Tennessee D. 2nd 3-and-out today.
Just that interior push, that 3-man pressure, and 3 guys are trying to block Simmons, but he still got the job, and acknowledging that he tipped it.
Chester
still have 2
Rogers
return men back to help out Chester Rogers.
Rogers from the 25. Rogers at the 40 and spun down at the 41. 1:20 to go in the 3rd quarter, and now a late flag has just come out. That was well after the whistle. Tony Corrente and his crew huddling up after a 52-yard punt by Johnston and a 16-yard return from Rogers.
After the conclusion of the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, kicking team number 8, 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's on Terrence Brooks, who's just activated off IR yesterday, and that'll help Tennessee with field position. A rainy Sunday at Nissan Stadium. 1:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. Can the parents get this kid a bottle of water? I mean, he's drinking the rain. Our director, Andy Goldberg, producer, Steve McKee, entire crew here in Nashville. First down and 10. Hilliard up the middle. Room to run. Dontrell Hilliard inside the 30. Drew J. Hill on the tackle. A 16-yard gain. And Tennessee is starting to build some momentum.
Everybody on that defensive line for the Houston Texans, they can pass. Nice job blocking up front by the Titans offensive line.
Tannehill a screen to Hilliard. And he slips. Nobody touched him, and now Cunningham wraps him up. Hilliard with his 6th reception today.
I was down on the field before the game, before the rain started, of course, and I'm looking at that field, realizing that a lot of players like the molded cleat. It's a little easier on their foot. The old screw-in cleat can be a little bit longer, provide better footing, but I tell you, players like the little molded bottoms because you feel like you can run like you're in a track meet.
Second down and 12. And off the Willard. And Eric Murray makes the tackle on what should be the final play of the third quarter. Tennessee is driving. They trail by 13. We'll be back after this message and a word from your local station.
Start of the fourth quarter here in Nashville. Injury update. A.J. Brown has a chest injury, guys. He is questionable to return. On the bench, I saw him doubling over in pain, and he actually looked like he was breathing heavy, but he was clearly in pain. He's still in the locker room right now.
All right, Sherry, thank you. Another injury for Tennessee to work with here as we start the fourth. And it's third down and 10. Tannehill, and the pass is caught by Fertzer, but well short of a first down. Zach Cunningham on the tackle. And now on fourth down, Mike Vrabel keeping the offense out there again.
And going fast, so they already decided well before the third down play.
4th and 6. Tannehill throws across his body, incomplete, and it was Murray who broke it up. This is a situation where had they had gone for 2 and gotten it on the touchdown, the field goal, you would have taken it there, but Vrabel rolls the dice and comes up empty.
And a great breakup by Murray, closing in on that. We talked to Lovie Smith, and he talked about Murray learning to play zone defense. Well, that time, man-to-man aspects of that coverage, driving on the ball, swatting it away, all the things that make you a good man-to-man guy. But Murray's had to learn to play zone and adapting to a new position, a strong safety, and that may be the key defensive play so far for the Houston Texans.
Murray with that pass breakup to go along with 9 tackles today. And the Texans take over at their own 24, hand off to Johnson, slips a little bit, and then Chris Jones comes in from his corner spot to make the tackle. Football's iconic show, Inside the NFL, streaming Tuesdays at 9:30 Eastern on Paramount+.
You know, we've got Jimmy Morrissey, the rookie who's starting his second game at center. That last snap was a little high, and I'm thinking to myself, centers now in high school and college probably snap more out of the gun than they do with the quarterback right underneath them. So he's got to be really accurate with these snaps coming up here.
2nd and 8, Taylor rolling right, throws on the run. He's got a wide open Cooks, but the throw was low. Incomplete, and it's third down.
That ball being a little wet, a little heavier, makes you a little inconsistent as you're throwing the ball. He was accurate with his direction, but low with the trajectory. That should have been an easy completion, and Brandon Cook should have caught that ball to be running up the field. Now, third down and long, and let's see what happens with the outside pass rush pressure and Jeffries inside pushing that pocket.
Fans making noise on 3rd and 8. Here comes the pressure. Taylor steps up, throws, caught by Conley, who's leveled. Elijah Molden with a big hit. Now, the Texans say with forward progress, it should be enough for a first down, but I don't think they have it. That hit by Molden prevented Conley from picking up the first down.
And the difference between that throw and the throw on second down, he kind of floats this ball a little bit, so it's in the air a lot longer, and it allows Molden to come up shoulder down, that shoulder in front of the runner, and knocking him backwards short of the first down.
What a great play by the third-round pick out of Washington. And a clutch third down as Johnston just gets it off. Rodgers, the deep man, fair catch at the 16. 12:57 to go. Tennessee getting the football back. They trail 19-6. (19-6) in favor of Houston. Don't forget, coming up, State Farm postgame show. Our crew back in New York has all the latest scores and highlights coming up on the State Farm postgame show. In the rain, Ryan Tannehill, 24 of 35 for 199 yards, a touchdown and an interception. 2 Tennessee turnovers, and they trail by 13. On first down, they run it with Hilliard. Hilliard's going nowhere. Derek Rivers, in his first game as a Texan, elevated off the practice squad yesterday. He makes the tackle. Tennessee trying to keep this momentum going. They have gone pretty much exclusively no huddle here in the second half. 2nd and 8. Tannehill over the middle, nearly intercepted. Grugier Hill almost had another.
Just the waiting for receivers to make sure that they have their footing correct and that they can come out of their breaks. You're holding the ball a little extra time, and that allows the defense to close in on plays. And Justin Reed kind of going down on one knee.
Grugier Hill, 9 tackles, 2 pass breakups, and the interception. There you see Reed down on one knee. And James, you think about Tennessee offensively. No Derrick Henry, we know that. But right. No A.J. Brown right now, no Marcus Johnson. Where do they go on 3rd down? Find out when we come back.
Or by bundling home and car insurance. And by Verizon, the official 5G network of the NFL.
Nice ceremony at halftime as the late Titans GM Floyd Reese and former head coach Jeff Fisher inducted into the Titans Ring of Honor. 3rd down and 8. Tannehill over the middle, caught by Ferrell, and he's going to be a yard shy of a first down. Cunningham and Brooks on the tackle, and Mike Vrabel is not hesitating, going for it on 4th and 1. From his own 26-yard line. Tannehill keeps it himself, and he's got the first down. Gutsy play call there, and it works for Tennessee.
So you could have had a design quarterback run or obviously a read option. Tannehill, you see those eyes. He's looking at the end line defender who's not there. Takes it around the end.
Drive continues. Tannehill back to the air. Hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. And that was Malik Collins who had the hit on Tannehill. I've not called his name yet today, but he makes a big play there.
Splits the guard tackle gap, and you got to make sure as you get close to that quarterback that you target him in the right area. It's kind of like being a baseball pitcher. You've got to hit him below the shoulders and above the knees.
2nd down and 10. Again, the Titans without A.J. Brown. Burks are in motion. Tannehill deep over the middle. Westbrook Akina at the 30 and upended at the 25-yard line. Desmond King made the tackle. Big play for Tennessee for 46 yards.
Eric Reed, the safety on the right side of the defense for the Houston Texans, got his eyes involved with all the motion, all the cross stuff that was going on behind the line of scrimmage, and lost his defense carry.
No huddle for Tennessee. They try to keep it rolling. Tannehill, and it is intercepted. Desmond King with the pick. That's his first interception in 3 years, and the 3rd turnover today committed by Tennessee.
Andrew, it looked like he possessed that ball before he rolled into the end zone. So they're going to end up with the ball on the 1-yard line. Yeah, you want the ball. You would have loved to have had a touchback.
Desmond King played 9 games with Tennessee last year. He was acquired in a mid-season trade with the Chargers, signed with Houston in the offseason, and makes a big play against his former team. Fifth career interception for Desmond King. And now the Texans have to be careful. They have the ball at the 1.
And that snap under center, trying to turn around and hand it to a running back who's 8 yards deep in the end zone.
Johnson spins out of the end zone, spins again. And It's maybe a half a yard. Kevin Byard coming up to make the play.
I mean, this is a dangerous area. You can see Heck, the right tackle, trying to block his man who crossed his face, who almost made the play in the backfield. So it's a huge surge, but can you throw the ball to the outside effectively if you're the Houston Texans?
Taylor's pass is deflected to Nico Autry. He got up there using his 6'5" frame, and it's 3rd and long.
Not only was it deflected, but the wide receiver, Chris Conley, was getting ready to block the defensive back. So he's not even realizing that this ball has been converted to a throw. You see, he hadn't even turned around. He's ready to block the defensive back out there. So you've got to be on the same page with this tremendous amount of pressure on you coming out of your own end zone. You got to be ready to punt it on 4th down now.
Snap, Taylor, pressure coming, throws it away. Titans want a safety, they want grounding as Molden was bearing down on Tyrod Taylor.
There's no foul for intentional grounding. Number 85 was in the area. 4th down.
So Ferrell Brown was in the area, and that is now 3 and out 3 times in a row by the Texans.
Well, another heads-up play by Molden. And you know that the Titan fans don't like that after what they saw at the end of the first half when Tannehill was called for intentional grounding and he threw the ball beyond the line of scrimmage.
Johnston in the back of his end zone with Rodgers, the deep man. It's a short kick. Rodgers all the way up to the 40, slips, and then taken down by A.J. Moore at the 35, but great field position after just a 38-yard punt. Well, Thanksgiving Day of the NFL on CBS feeds your football appetite with a fantastic matchup in Dallas between the Raiders and Cowboys. And then next Sunday, a full slate of big games, including the Titans going to Foxborough to take on the Patriots. A big Thanksgiving week coming your way on the NFL on CBS. 10:02 to go, and they spot the ball at the 36-yard line. That Tennessee offense right back on the field.
Let's spread them out and see what kind of matchups we can get against the linebackers.
Tannehill feeling the heat, and down he goes. Ross Blacklock with the sack, his 2nd of the season.
Watch the pocket just collapse from the inside. Aaron Brewer, number 62, subbing in for Nate Davis, and right guard gets pushed back into the lap of Tannehill.
First sack by either team today. Tannehill stands in there and fires a completion to the 30. It is Rodgers on the reception, and now an injured Texan behind the play. That completion is short of a first down. It's Ross Blacklock, the injured Texan, who's down at the 42. Missouri City, Texas native, went to Fort Bend Elkins High School and then played collegiately at TCU. And he is up and heading back to the Houston sideline with 9:29 on the clock. Well, Mike Vrabel preaches next man up all season. And you're looking at the targets that Tannehill has to work with right now. Throwing to Dez Fitzpatrick and Dontrell Hilliard and Chester Rogers. Trying to make it happen here late in the 4th quarter. 3rd down and 4.
Hey! Hey! You got it? You got it, Dez? There you go.
Here I'm asking Dez if he has the audible.
Tannehill throws, and it is caught. And guess who? It's Dez. I guess he got the audible. Dez Fitzpatrick with the first down reception.
I mean, tight coverage. You really don't get a ton of separation. You've got a wet ball. You've got an arm in there by the defensive back. Great grab.
Great catch. Tannehill throws right. Westbrook Akina hauls it in at the 19 and then gets a couple of extra yards before Thomas makes the tackle. 8.5 to go.
Key for the Titans, no penalties along that offensive line. Make sure you are not holding and grabbing when they stunt.
2nd and 1. Tannehill, Hilliard makes the catch. First down, inside the 10, and dragged down from behind by Grugier Hill. 1st and goal for Tennessee.
Now, just like you talked about, Andrew, where do you go with the ball? Because all preseason long, you've been working with Julio Jones and A.J. Brown. Big targets downhill. Who do you throw to?
Right back to Hilliard inside the 5. He lost the football. Ferkser falls on it. Touchdown! Hilliard remains down. He is injured. Ferkser in the right place at the right time.
All scoring plays are reviewed. Did Hilliard have it long enough as a runner? Looks like he did. Take that 3rd step.
Certainly looks like Hilliard makes a football move, and then look at Anthony Ferkser. Well, you know he's got the smarts. He went to Harvard, a degree in applied mathematics, and he hustled for that ball and falls on it for a touchdown. His first touchdown of the season.
Just gets in that 3rd step, which is considered the football move. 1-2 on the catch. The 3rd landing on the ground, and that ball squirting into the end zone at Ferkser. Being right there, they're picking up an extra degree.
Trying to pick up the extra point here. Bullock missed earlier. This one is good. With 7:47 to go. This crowd is starting to feel it. The Titans jumping up and down on the sideline. They got a whole lot of momentum right now, and they've pulled within 6. One more look at the touchdown.
Clean pocket. That's ultra close.
And Ferkser is there. Tennessee has 5 wins this season after trailing at one point in the ball game. Only Green Bay has more with 6, and they're trying to pull off a massive comeback here. Down by 19, they've cut the deficit to 6.
And a coach once tell me you don't look at the scoreboard until all the double zeros are up there.
Smith will let it go. It's a touchback. And now the pressure shifts to this Houston offense, trying to avoid another 3 and out.
One of the notes that I made for myself thinking about the Houston Texans coming into this game offensively, don't miss the layups. There are going to be some easy throws that you have a chance to make. You need to make those if you're the Houston Texans right now. You don't want to push yourself to 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10. You want to make those easy throws on 1st down and have some completions.
Last 9 plays for Houston, they've gained a total of 8 yards. Taylor to the air on 1st down, incomplete. Looking for Amendola. 2 teams going in opposite directions. Houston entering on an 8-game losing streak. And while the Titans trying to make it 7 in a row, they have the longest active win streak in the NFL, including their last 5 wins against teams that made the playoffs a season ago. 2nd down and 10. Burkhead on the carry. Burkhead spins across the 30 and down at the 33-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and 2 for the Texans.
Huge opportunity for Houston right here. Not only did they keep the clock moving by not throwing an incomplete pass, they picked up substantial yardage. 3rd and 2, a lot of options open. How do you move Brandon Cooks around enough where you can possibly get him the ball as a receiver?
Tyrod Taylor is 1 for his last 9. Big play here, 3rd and 2. He'll run it with Burkhead fighting for the 1st down, and they're going to mark him short. It's going to be 4th and inches, and out comes the punt unit for the Texans. That is the 4th consecutive 3-and-out by the Houston offense.
Stay on sides if you're in that defensive front for the Tennessee Titans.
Johnson punting away to Rodgers. High kick, fair catch called at the 16-yard line. .6:15 to go, and Ryan Tannehill coming back out. Last week, Tennessee against New Orleans, and it was A.J. Brown who made the heads-up play to recover that loose ball fumble. Nearly could have been disaster against the Saints, and then today, just a moment ago, after Hilliard lost the football, it was Ferkser recovering it in the end zone. All 3 timeouts for Tennessee. And it's Hilliard. I've seen mostly Hilliard here in the 2nd half. Not a lot of Deontay Foreman or Adrian Peterson. Tennessee has almost abandoned the run here in the 2nd half, and Hilliard's more of that 3rd down back who can make a play out of the backfield.
But just that little bit of run on 1st down now makes the linebackers a little greedy. They want to step up. They want to stop the run. Now you're spread out. You got an empty backfield. Now you convert back. Those linebackers are thinking we need to step up and stop the run, because look at your strong safety right there near the line of scrimmage.
It's Westbrook-Akina who's hit hard. That is Murray and Thomas on the tackle, and it brings up 3rd down. This one coming right in your living room.
Got a big living room.
And if you're just joining us, a reminder that A.J. Brown is not out there from Tennessee. Into the locker room with an injury. So where do they go on 3rd down? Big play here, 3rd and 5. Tannehill pump fakes, now throws, and it's caught! 1st down, Westbrook-Akina! How about the patience and poise of Tannehill, hanging tough in the pocket?
You are exactly right. It's a little wrap where there's a route underneath you, and you're trying to wrap around on that end. Westbrook-Akina can't hesitate. He can't lose his footing. He can't slip. The field is at that point where it'd be really easy to make that excuse about slipping. But the Tennessee Titan receivers are staying up and on their feet.
Career high 6 catches for 93 yards for Westbrook-Akina. Deontay Foreman comes in, and he runs right into Malik Collins. Jaleel Johnson came in to finish him off. A loss of 3 on the play.
We are officially in 4-down territory right now. Andrew, you've got to be willing to go for it. I don't know if you want to punt it away. Even though you have 3 timeouts, you want to keep possession of the ball.
Tannehill looking deep, and it's incomplete. It should have been picked twice. Murray had the first chance, and then Mitchell almost had it off the deflection.
That's the first loose floater that we've seen Tannehill throw right over the head of his tight end and then through a couple of hands. on the Houston Texans.
Wow. So on one end, you got Ferkser recovering a fumble in the end zone. And then here, the Texans with 2 chances to pick it. But it is 3rd down and 13. They have to get to the 39 for a first down. Tannehill is intercepted. It's Desmond King again. His second of the day. And knocked out of bounds by Tannehill. Desmond King did not have an interception in the last 3 years. And now he has 2 in the second half.
I talked about the field being just a little wet. Tannehill throwing this off his back foot, and his receivers to the outside. King moves to the inside. He's able to keep his footing and drive backwards to the ball. There's Des Fitzpatrick. He's outside, and great job by Desmond King realizing down and distance. They've got 3rd and 13 that are going to throw it near the sticks. He's ready to break on the ball before the wide receiver is.
Tennessee has all 3 timeouts, 3:42 on the clock. It's a give to Johnson up the middle, and Danico Autry wraps him up. And there's Mike Vrabel to immediately call timeout. This is the 3rd time today that a Tennessee turnover has given Houston the ball inside the red zone. Clock is stopped with 3:38 to play.
You know, I think the most nervous Houston Texans might be their field goal kicker, because you've got to really believe that Tennessee's going to be really tough up front, and that the Texans are going to keep the ball on the ground or keep it in very manageable throwing situations where the clock continues to run. And Mike Vrabel can use his timeouts to stop the clock. You've got to be able to convert the field goal attempt once you get the 4th down.
Field goal makes it a 2-score game. 2nd down and 9. Handoff Johnson. And again, Johnson bottled up. Mike Vrabel calling timeout, stopping the clock with 3:34 to play. While we have a moment, James, let's revisit your keys to the game.
Well, I talked about spicing it up, and that was trying to get the ball to Brandon Cooks. But one of the things I've seen from the Houston Texans is the spice has been thrown in by Tyrod Taylor with the 2 rushing touchdowns. Tannehill, some good, some bad. The 3 interceptions really will come back to bite you in a ball game like this, where the weather doesn't allow you to score easily.
Fairbairn 2 for 2 on field goals today, but he did miss an extra point. 3rd down and 11. Do you run it again to make him use timeout?
I believe you do. You've got Fulton on Brandon Cooks. I'd stay away from Fulton.
They're just going to run it. Make Tennessee use their final timeout. Vrabel does with 3:30 on the clock, and now the all-important field goal. As a few players wish each other an early happy Thanksgiving. And now the pressure on Ka'imi Fairbairn to make it a 2-score game.
You know, you have big play defenders at each and every level for the Tennessee Titans, and one of the top players for them is Jeffries Simmons. And this would be a moment to step up as a defensive tackle in that guard tackle gap, to swim, to make your body little, and then to get your hand up. There he is right there, trying to come up in between that gap.
It's a 32-yard attempt and some movement.
Simmons might have gotten the move in the
false start.
Yep.
Offense number 72. 5-yard penalty, and it will remain 4th down.
And it goes on Jaron Christian, who starts at left tackle. And now now there'll be a 37-yard field goal attempt.
And Christian, the left tackle, who moves to right tackle in the field goal protection unit. And once again, Simmons is lined up over him, and that would make anybody a little nervous with that all-pro type guy over the top of your head.
Kick on the way, and it is good! Fairbairn has now made 57 in a row from inside 40 yards. And with 3:26 to go, it is a 2-score game. David Culley back in his home state of Tennessee, the Sparta, Tennessee native, trying to stop this 8-game losing streak. And Mike Vrabel knows his team up against it now with no timeouts remaining. Tennessee has 404 yards of offense to just 191 for Houston. Yet it's the Texans up by 9. Short little pooch kick. Rodgers from the 12. It's actually Hilliard. And Hilliard tripped up across the 30. Coming up, State Farm postgame show. JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, and Coach Cower. All the latest NFL scores and highlights coming up on the State Farm postgame show. Ryan Tannehill with 3 interceptions today.
And how well can you run the 2-minute drill if you're the Tennessee Titans and get yourself the first 3 points that you might need before the 2-minute warning if possible?
Tannehill has time, throws, and it's caught by Westbrook Akina. Down at the 48-yard line, Terrence Mitchell on the tackle, a 14-yard pickup, and Westbrook Akina now with 107 yards on the day. Tannehill lost the football. It's loose. And the center, Ben Jones, falls on it. It was Jacob Martin who knocked the ball away from Tannehill.
And that clock is continuing to run on that strip sack.
The former Texan Ben Jones makes the recovery. Second down. Tannehill over the middle, caught into Houston territory. They cannot stop the clock. Ferkser with the catch.
A little substitution from the Houston Texans. 2 guys on, 2 guys off, and they were able to do it in time.
For 3rd and 4. Tannehill throws, and it's intercepted! Terrence Mitchell! That's the 4th interception today by Tannehill. And Mitchell is cut from behind by Hilliard. Ryan Tannehill's got his face in the ground. He can't believe it. That's the first 4-interception game of Tannehill's career. Lovie Smith told us last night, you know, Terrence Mitchell, he's playing okay. He could play a little bit better. Well, his first interception of the season.
And being able to drive on the ball, having your eyes in zone coverage on the quarterback. Terrence Mitchell doing exactly what he's taught to do. Takes away the short route, goes to the deeper route. That's excellent cover 2 corner type play.
So the Texans defense had 5 takeaways in the last game against Miami. And 5 more turnovers today by the opponent. 4 interceptions, and then the punt that was muffed. 2-minute warning, 22-13 Houston. Jets, Jaguars, and Dolphins all with big upsets over the last 3 weeks, and now you can add another one to the list as David Culley and the Texans are about to stop an 8-game losing streak. And off to Burkhead here. Tennessee is out of timeouts. Culley shared an interesting story with us last night at the team hotel. He was recruited to play at Vanderbilt by Bill Parcells, who was an assistant at Vandy at the time. And this summer, David Culley flew to Saratoga, New York, where Parcells has a home. Met him at the stables. Parcells owns horses. Culley wanted to talk to Parcells about turning franchises around, since Parcells had so much success doing that. And Culley said he got great advice, as he expected. He said Parcells told him, "You're the head coach. They are going to follow you. Make sure whatever you believe in, they believe in as well." And Parcells added, "Don't get caught up in the losses. Just try to establish the culture." Culley said he spent the entire day with Parcells, and he said that during this tough stretch where they've gone 8 consecutive games with losses, he has flashed back to that conversation with Parcells, and in his words, it has carried him throughout the year.
And it was interesting because also in those meetings we met with Justin Reed, and Justin Reed has been here for some really good times with the Texans where they won 9 ball games in a row, and he relayed to us that he did not want to be part of being on the other side of the 9, losing 9 games in a row.
Teair Tart is the injured Titan down around midfield, stopping the clock with 1:03 to play. Tart did not play last week because of a groin injury. And we'll step aside, come right back after this.
Welcome to CBS Mornings.
Up next, stories you'll be talking about today.
That's a big deal.
People stop me on the street and say, I always learn something new every day when I watch your show.
This morning we're going to begin with some good news.
Oh, you just put me in a good mood.
Just follow me. I'll lead the way.
There's always something new under the sun. CBS Mornings, weekdays on CBS.
Let's go, Buffalo! That's the form, baby.
Teair Tart needing assistance getting off the field.
I hope that injury is just kind of the adrenaline being sucked out of his body, and it's nothing that's going to linger on into next week.
A big game coming up for Tennessee on the road at Foxborough. And again, one of the questions Mike Vrabel will get the entire week is who's healthy. Remember, A.J. Brown missed the second half. Jones is out, Henry's out, Dupree. The list goes on and on for Tennessee. And to their credit, they have found ways over the last 6 weeks to get by all these injuries, but not today. They caught up with them. And you tip your cap to the Texans as well for playing by far their best game of the year. Delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense. Five-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
You know, one of the things that is tradition when you win a ball game to hand out game balls. And I think everybody on that defensive unit would be in line for potentially getting a game ball when you're able to create 4 turnovers.
Johnston gets it away. Rodgers watches it travel out of bounds with the clock at 17 seconds. And let's update the standings in the AFC South. Tennessee falling to 8-3, and the Colts with a monster performance in Buffalo. Now it's 6-5. Texans go to 2-8. Jaguars losing big against San Francisco. And now it'll be Tennessee next week against the first place New England Patriots after the loss by the Bills today. Hilliard is thrown down by Collins, and that should do it. The Texans stop an 8-game losing streak and pick up their first win since the opener against the Jaguars. 22-13 the final for James Sherry. I'm Andrew. Let's go to James.